Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
He towed away more than a car. Criminal charges remain a possibility for a tow truck driver accused of hauling away a woman's car with her 5-year-old daughter inside. San Antonio police tell us today they are still investigating this case.
Meanwhile, a man who stepped in to help that distraught woman has quite a story to tell. As Katrina Weber shows us, his wife is calling him a hero.
Outside the gates of Trinity Towing is where a San Antonio police investigation began. It also marked the end of a journey for a 5-year-old girl who was hauled here along with her mother's car. A report says the woman told police she momentarily left the car running with her daughter inside Monday morning while she knocked on a relative's door at their apartment complex on Blanco Road. She says that's when the tow driver suddenly swooped in and took it. A neighbor tried to help her chase him down.
He says a lady, literally came in front of the vehicle to stop, help me.
Nancy Ramirez spoke to us on behalf of her husband, Gilbert, the neighbor who helped the woman. She asked us to call on the phone because the ordeal left him exhausted.
He is ill. He just went through surgery himself.
Gilbert, she says, had been out running errands and came home to the chaotic situation. Ramirez says her husband's call to action came as he was driving into the property. He says the woman suddenly jumped in front of his car, begging him to stop.
So she approached the window side of the passenger and said, help me, help me. He said, the truck took my daughter, in Spanish.
Ramirez says Gilbert also called police, who directed him and the woman to the tow yard. The woman reunited with her daughter there. Police are still deciding whether to charge the tow truck driver. Meanwhile, Ramirez says what her husband did to help a stranger makes him a hero.
I'm so proud of my husband. I'm absolutely very proud of him.
Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Now, we should point out that we called and emailed Trinity Towing for a statement about this entire thing, both yesterday and this morning. So far, no one has responded.
So much blood that you could taste it in the air. That's how an SAPD officer described the scene of a deadly dog attack that killed an 81-year-old man. This was part of testimony today during the punishment phase for the couple who owned those dogs and pleaded guilty. A first responder who was there the day the dog attacked Ramon Najera said it was a horrific scene. His body camera captured the moment that he spoke with Abilene Schneider, one of the dog's owners, who was standing outside her home when he arrived. Schneider could be heard telling the officer that the dogs were locked up inside a kennel and that she didn't want them anymore. The punishment phase for Abilene Schneider and Christian Moreno will continue tomorrow. The judge will decide their sentencing on September 20th.
Also testifying today, Ramon Najera's wife, Janie. She has never sat down for a television interview about what happened that day until now. With her family behind her, Janie talks to me about what she and her husband went through as the 65-pound dogs attacked them. She also puts part of the blame on the city and Animal Care Services. The family's filed a federal lawsuit against the city because these dogs had been taken off the streets before the attack, but ACS returned them to their owners, saying the dogs did bite someone, but they were small bites.
He said, oh, well, because there were small bites. When I heard him say that, it just brought tears to my eyes that my husband had to lose his life because they were small bites. That was just not right. They should have done something. They should have done something right away. How many times does a dog have to bite before they put him down?
Janie's story tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
It is a high-stakes night. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are set to take the debate stage at 8 tonight.
Both presidential candidates facing off against each other for the first time. Our Daniela Ibarra joins us from the friendly spot where a watch party is getting ready to kick off. Daniela.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night here for sure. Lots of tables open, so if you're at home and thinking about where you're going to watch the debate party, come here. And I want to bring in the owner, Steve Newman, who he says this is not, yeah, come on in, Steve. All right, so this is not the first time you've hosted a debate watch party, but why was it important for you to do this show tonight?
You know, I think it's important for the community to be able to gather together and everybody get to be informed and have an idea of what's going on and just being able to be a part of a group setting like this where there's no one side or the other.
Yeah, so this is not your first time doing it, so...
No, it's not.
Okay, what has the turnout been like in the past?
In the past, we've had really good turnouts. We get groups from different backgrounds coming out here to sit, just to learn about what they're going to say. This is going to be a particularly interesting one because it'll be the first one with Kamala in it, so it'll be an interesting back and forth tonight.
So when you go around and talk to some of the people that come here, what types of perspectives do you hear?
I think you get a lot of it. I mean, you get the wide variety of perspectives. You'll get Republican, you'll get Democrat, you'll get undecideds that are going to be out here trying to figure out what are they going to do in November.
Yeah, so you guys got the huge TV on back here, and we have KSAT on, and you guys are going to be playing the debate, the audio too, right?
Yep, we'll have the debate on the front screen, and we have some screens in the back. We'll have audio on both of them. So whether you want to sit indoors or if you want to sit outdoors, you're going to be able to have the audio and be able to sit anywhere you want, and you have food and drink, and have a full menu of food, and we're ready to go.
And I heard you guys have some good nachos.
We do. We have good nachos, and it's Tuesday, so it's half-price nachos on Tuesday, so it's a great win-win today.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So we're going to be here for the debate. Hopefully we're going to get to see a lot of people and get to talk to them. And so, yeah, we'll send it back to you for right now.
All right, Daniela, thank you. Many people have their list of things to watch for during tonight's presidential debate. We talked to a UTSA political science professor to get his take.
Debates can be important. They can actually have an impact.
And this one is expected to get personal. UTSA political science professor John Taylor believes former President Donald Trump doubling down on his recent increasing personal attacks against Vice President Kamala Harris could work against Trump.
It basically reinforces questions about his worthiness to be president again. Questions about his mental stability and senility comes into play again.
On the flip side, Harris is expected to attack Trump personally over his indictments and legal convictions. Aside from the personal, there is expected to be key policy discussion. Both candidates expected to talk about the border, the economy, and Project 2025. Taylor says Trump can attack Harris by pointing to border cities overwhelmed by increases of migrants during Harris's role in the Biden administration. Meanwhile, he says Harris will likely bring up Trump's failed border wall plan. On the economy, since the pandemic, inflation reached as high as 7%, and the median price for a home this year was over $400,000.
The average voter is looking at pocketbook issues. They're looking at, prices. They're looking at such things as home mortgages.
Harris will likely take aim at Trump on Project 2025.
Project 2025 essentially parallels what's called Agenda 47, which is the Trump campaign's agenda for 2025 and beyond.
The 900-page document highlights a variety of changes that could be made if a Republican administration took office. Some of the topics include Schedule F, which essentially ends the requirements under the Civil Service Reform Act to maintain a nonpartisan bureaucracy. It would put a big change on reproductive choice, including stricter laws on contraceptives, IVF, and abortion. Millions of immigrants could be deported under the mandate, and support for Ukraine would likely end.
The document is wide-ranging, which is why there is so much fear and so much concern about it.
Americans will be watching, as the debate could either help persuade voters or reaffirm their choice. Again, that debate will be shown here on KSAT and all of our digital platforms. Coverage of the debate starts right after this newscast. You can read a more detailed description, meantime, of our talk with John Taylor and how this debate could impact voter turnout by scanning this QR code.
A lot of people will be watching. All right, the South Texas sun isn't going anywhere, so the city of San Antonio plans to put it to use.
Garrett Berger tells us about a $30 million plan to put solar panels on dozens of city buildings. Garrett.
Yeah, we're talking community centers, a police station, even preschool, even this service center for solid waste, all of them with solar panels at or on site. And city officials say this is the second largest municipal solar project in the entire country, behind only New York City. Now, it took longer than expected to get ramped up, but 6 sites are already completed. And the city plans to do another 29 next budget year. By the summer of 2026, it aims to have solar panels installed at 42 different city sites. How they put the panels in will depend on each location, but most will be going onto rooftops or as parking canopies. The city's chief sustainability officer says new federal incentives now make projects like this much more financially feasible for cities. And he hopes the city does not stop at these 42 sites.
But personally, I would think any significant city building should either have solar rooftop. I think all of our parking should be shaded just from a urban heat mitigation, reducing that surface temperature. But yes, I think solar should be ubiquitous across the community, not just the city organization.
Now, these 42 solar projects are expected to offset about 11% of the city's building energy consumption. So it's not going to get the city to its 2040 goal of net zero energy use for the buildings. But the city's chief sustainability officer says they will have to make other efforts, specifically generally reducing the city's energy use. On the west side, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Garrett. We are talking about increasing temperatures. That little taste of fall, it's over for now.
Yep.
And what's going on in the Gulf, Adam?
Yeah, we've got Francine in the Gulf, and our little taste of fall has come to an end. And notice Francine is throwing a few highly isolated, insignificant showers westward here into Texas, a little bit in Lavaca County, a quick splash and dash in DeWitt County as well. Really agriculturally insignificant in general. You look at the main area of rain, and that has been ahead of the storm coming on shore in Louisiana, and then of course closer to the center of circulation as well. And you can see that center of circulation very broad here just east of Brownsville, but really no bands of rain, no organized bands really are coming on shore. And you look at the winds along the Gulf Coast, these are the latest wind gusts, so the peak winds over the past basically 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Rockport 21 miles per hour, Corpus Christi 22, and we're basically seeing gusts on the order of 20 to 25 miles per hour. So nothing significant wind-wise. And you look at the latest from Whitecap Beach, this is from visitcorpuschristi.com, sunny and just higher surf than usual, and the water is up a little higher than usual, probably a few feet at least higher than usual. And this has come in a little bit more as I've been watching this camera over the past few hours. We'll take a closer look at Francine and exactly where it's headed, where the computer models have it going, and how much rain it could drop coming up.
All right, thanks, Adam. Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. We found two pretty good backups we want to make you aware of. This is 410 at Jackson Keller. It's the westbound lanes where that tie-up is. It looks like this accident is pretty close to clearing. Traffic is making its way around those cones and through this trouble spot. Another one we want to show you, this one is 1604 at Mountain Vista. That's on the northeast side between Judson and Green Mountain Road. This one, you can see the accident there off into the grassy median. That's got traffic slow going in this direction, but it really is on all the main lanes of 1604 at this hour. Still ahead here on the news at 6, training your pets can be tricky, but imagine having to train a dog to help fight crime. Now police are getting some help from a local nonprofit to make that happen. You can help out too. We'll tell you how.
And taking a outside look with live cam, and you can see there are a lot of clouds out there, but no significant rain in our area. Adam will take us back to the coast when we come back.
The San Antonio Police Department says canine units can save lives when they're responding to emergencies, whether that's hunting down a dangerous suspect or looking for a missing person.
Yeah, this week a nonprofit called Spike's Canine Fund is in town giving some highly specialized training to SAPD police dogs, officers, and members of the SWAT team. The nonprofit says it's worked with hundreds of dogs over the years across the country. This week, they're teaching a canine tactical integration course on using dogs in SWAT team operations. Instructor Stephen Stoops says much of the training of a canine comes down to good attitude and good relationship with its handler.
And it's a continual learning experience, and you're only as good as your last deployment. A lot of times your failures will lead into successes by coming to this kind of training, because it's an open engagement between the instructors and the handlers.
The team is teaching 12 handlers and 6 SWAT members in town through the next 2 days. It's all free, and it comes at no cost to the department.
All right, I know that the likelihood that it's going to hit or give us any significant rain is not that much, but I do still like keeping track of exactly what's happening when it comes to the coast.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I was showing you that camera earlier to give you that visual representation. And, the water is a few feet higher than it typically would be, but that's about it. And luckily the impacts are pretty small and insignificant for us. Let's get right to the satellite and radar and what it looks like out there from outer space looking down on Francine. Of course, that's with the satellite data. The radar data is from here on the ground and gives us an idea of the rain out there, and really not a lot of rain coming on shore, not much at all here in Texas. We had a few inches closer to Port Mansfield earlier today. That's about it. The main circulation here just east of Brownsville at this time. Max sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. It's making that little turn to the northeast. Yesterday it was moving northwest. Now it's moving northeast and still expected to become a hurricane probably later on tonight. Low end category 1, winds around 75 miles per hour. Strengthen a bit more as it heads towards Louisiana, making landfall tomorrow afternoon as a category 1. Winds 90, maybe 100 miles per hour, and then quickly falling apart as it moves inland and then right up the Mississippi River as a depression and then a remnant low with a lot of rain left over. Here's a look at the computer models, and they're in very good agreement. They've actually shifted eastward a little bit. So they started out, remember, a few days ago, East Texas, western Louisiana. They've been shifting and trending eastward, and that has been the case. But bottom line, it's going to impact Louisiana more than anybody else. Here's a look at the futurecast, just one computer model's rendition of where this should end up. And notice it does take some heavy rain from Houston over toward Shreveport and, of course, into Louisiana. Even that, I think, is a little questionable for tomorrow. Then landfall tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then the remnant rain, the heavy rain, moves northward up the Mississippi, impacting areas from Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, all the way up towards St. Louis. We're going to see some rain. In terms of rainfall amounts, not much here in Texas in terms of additional rain. The main event for the rain and, of course, the storm surge will be Louisiana. We could be talking 7 to even 10 inches of rain moving into parts of Louisiana just from this system. And then you go into the remnants of it in western Tennessee. Let's check out near Jackson, Tennessee, even up to 7 inches of rain. So these systems, yes, they're very impactful to the coast. This one will be Louisiana coast, but also thereafter, where the remnants go with the heavy rain, can be impactful to western Tennessee and parts of the locations along the Mississippi River there. All right, take a look at our high temperature trend. We're back into the just about upper 90s, 97 for Friday and Saturday for the highs. But when you factor in the humidity, which is returning, it could feel like it's around 100, even a heat index of 103 for a little bit Friday afternoon. Here's a look outside, and these clouds are actually from Francine being thrown onshore. Should give us a pretty good sunset, though, I'll tell you that. 89, dew point of 63, that's the key. The humidity, it's slowly rising here in San Antonio and eastward. Those of you west of I-35 not feeling the mugginess yet, but that's going to be changing very soon. Humidity spreads westward tonight, and we're all feeling that mugginess first thing tomorrow morning with our dew points here in San Antonio back into the low 70s. So 72 degrees tomorrow morning with that stickiness in the air. 86 at noon, 92 the high. A north wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour and a mixture of sun and clouds from whatever Francine throws onshore in terms of the clouds. 89 Canyon Lake tomorrow. Stinson on the south side, 93, and Castroville, 93 the high. Our rain chances are only at 20%, and that's by Monday. There's going to be some Pacific moisture left over that will come in from the west, and if we're lucky, we could squeeze out a few showers.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
Is it possible that the Cowboys defense is getting even better under new D coordinator, Mary?
I think so. I mean, Dan Quinn is gone, Mike Zimmer is in, and game one, the Dallas Cowboys defense looked very solid. It even, you could say, sent shockwaves throughout the NFL. Why it was important to happen when it did, coming up. Plus, UIW falls to the reigning champs South Dakota State, and they're eager to bounce back. Stay with us.
We we didn't fly all the way up there to Brookings just to gain some respect or prove that we can hang with the #1 team in the country. Like, we went up there to win a football game. And there was disappointment in that locker room, but I think they proved it to themselves that on a big stage, like, they can sit there and go blow for blow in a heavyweight battle.
UIW went toe-to-toe with the best of the best this past weekend, and they're feeling inspired despite coming up short in big board sports. But first, the Dallas Cowboys defense went through the biggest shakeup this offseason, but you couldn't tell on Sunday against the Browns. Mike Zimmer's defensive unit held Cleveland to 230 total yards of offense. Deshaun Watson was sacked 6 times, hit 17, and picked off twice. Through it all, 10 of the Browns' 14 possessions didn't cross midfield. After the game, DeMarcus Lawrence said Zimmer was cooking, and Zimmer agreed. Executing like that game 1 was key in building trust with the team.
Yeah, I think that's important. You go out there and you stink up the joint, then they start questioning you. But, I do feel like they got a good grasp on things now. I had a couple guys ask me, Coach, is that how you're going to call the game? And I said, yeah, pretty much. I said, was it not good? And they said, no, we liked it, so. But I didn't know why they were asking me that question. But, it's just, we're just trying to do the best we can to stop the other team.
Dallas's Week 2 matchup is a noon game at home against the Saints.
I'd say a veteran quarterback going into a hostile environment is preferable. And, our guy will be making his second, road start in his career.
Jeff Traylor talked today about the evolution of his football team, highlighting the transition UTSA is going through right now, which proved significant in the Roadrunners' recent loss at Texas State. Now, this Saturday, UTSA will face the highest-ranked opponent in program history when the squad visits the #2 Texas Longhorns in Austin Saturday at 6. Well, the grind ahead of Week 3 is underway for the Incarnate Word football team, and what a beautiful morning it was to get in some work. The Cardinals were battle-tested this past weekend. UIW went up against the defending FCS champions in South Dakota State. The Cardinals walked away with a 21-point loss, and while disappointing, the team put up a respectable fight. Head coach Clint Killow using a boxing analogy to describe what his team needs to do to bounce back.
They got a championship mindset, that's for sure. And I'm confident in how they're going to respond. They know that this week is going to be bigger than South Dakota week, to be totally honest with you. And that's kind of been the messaging. Shake it off, put your mouthpiece back in and get back in the ring. And that's kind of our mentality. And we're ready to go. We're ready to send a message because we're not playing this schedule to gain any respect or talk about strength of the schedule. We're playing this schedule because we think we can beat these football teams. And that's what we're going to do.
UIW is at Southern Illinois this weekend for a 6 o'clock kickoff, and man, Killo is fired up. It has me fired up.
Yeah, just shake yourself off, put the mouthpiece back in, we're ready to go.
Get ready to go.
There we go. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. Coming up next, we're going to go back out to the friendly spot with our power panel to talk about debate night. Right back.
It is debate night right here on KSAT 12 tonight. We are having a viewing party at the Friendly Spot Ice House, South Alamo on the south side. And joining us from there, 2 members of our power panel, Kevin Wolf, former city councilman and Bexar County commissioner, and Molly Cox, who is also a consultant and was the prior head of SA 2020. Both of you, very good to see you tonight. Very relaxed. You got your own table. Wow.
I know.
Upscale.
This is great.
We're just missing drinks.
Yeah. Drinks.
We'll see if we can get that taken care of.
Yeah, after the Q&A. How about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
After the Q&A.
There we go. Kevin, I want to start with you.
Oh, wait.
Oh, look.
Who's this?
Tell him to hold on just 1 second.
Wait. Yeah, just give us a second. We're starting with a question.
Okay.
We've got
Go ahead.
the third member of our power panel who just showed up, DeMonte Alexander, political consultant there. Kevin, I want to start with you, though, as you guys scooch around here. What do you think Trump needs to do tonight for this to be a success for him?
Something I think that he might be incapable of doing, and that's keeping above board, being positive, and not burning everything, not melting down. It's sometimes he just can't help but be Trump. And if he can help himself from doing that, if he remains calm and talks about real issues, then it's going to be tough for Kamala to overcome that.
All right, Molly, you get the next question. What does Kamala Harris have to do to meet expectations tonight?
So let's start first with the fact that Kamala Harris's expectations are already higher, infinitely higher than Donald Trump, who, right, like he just doesn't need, if he doesn't fall down, he wins, right? And her expectations, the bar is already set pretty high for her. What I would hope, or what I hope that we see tonight, is her continuing the offense, right? She's been on the offense so far. She's basically said, I am uninterested in this like tired playbook about my name or my race or as a woman, right? So I'd be interested to see if she stays in the offense and stays away from sort of being dragged into what might become not a debate, but just a smattering of words. Yeah.
So, Molly, Kevin, I don't know if DeMonte can hear us, so you may have to relay this question if you can't. But DeMonte, I do want to ask you, for the people who are undecided, I mean, this is about helping voters make up their minds or reaffirming their choice for those who have already made a decision. But for those who haven't, what do you think they are looking for tonight? What do voters need to hear to go one way or the other?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Myra. And I think that's exactly who we should be speaking to, is those who are undecided. I think both sides have already made their choice on the ends, but it's the middle. And I think both candidates need to speak specifics. We've been hearing about the broad whistleblower, dog whistle topics, and political, rants. But we need to hear more specifics about their policy and what they're going to do to impact Americans' lives, right? The everyday lives, the pocketbook issues and things like that. People want to hear about that. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the economy, been a lot of talk about, border security, immigration, all those things, abortion. And so I think Kamala especially, she needs to get really specific about this stuff. And I think she needs to also, when, former president has been known to embellish a little bit on some of his accomplishments. But I think she needs to stand her ground on that. But I think also she needs to take some ownership of some things, because she has been in that office. Now, we would say she is the vice president, and we'll see what authority she has. But when you're in the office, you have to take some ownership of where we currently stand, and I want to see her kind of lean into that.
I have a question. Let's start back with you, Kevin. How important is tonight in the grand scheme of things? And I'm going to open that up to everybody on the panel, but I want to start with you, Kevin.
I actually think it's uber important, especially for Trump. And two things that my fellow panel members here have said. One is it's that middle that always makes the difference. I absolutely agree. The extremes have already decided. It doesn't matter what happens here tonight. It's the middle that they're all playing for. And Molly is also right. I think Kamala has to play, it's a very narrow line. She has to stay on the offensive without going on tilt. Okay? And I think her biggest hope is to try to get him to go on tilt.
Molly, how important is tonight?
Yes. I don't know. I feel like, hey, we're not going to get any more of these, I think. I think this will be the last one of these debates. I think if we see a major blow up by Donald Trump, or if Kamala Harris goes on the defensive or whatever, how it's framed tomorrow will be very, very important to what happens next. But we'll see a vice presidential debate after this, and then we'll see what comes from here. This will be the first time the two candidates ever meet. So how they play off of each other, what it looks like together, will ultimately tell us what it is. But I think this is going to be a ground game at this point in select states, so it'll depend on how this plays in those spaces.
Yeah, seeing their energy together will certainly be interesting. DeMonte, to you, last question for our panel. How critical is tonight?
I think if you asked Joe Biden, he would say very, right?
Yeah.
And so I think no, seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely.
That last debate was
the whole race,
right? And so I think not only for Democrats, this is a very, very important and pivotal time right now. This is the time for you to say, hey, the political winds have changed. The voters is now with us. And this is why we made the switch, and this is why Kamala is the best choice for the Democratic Party moving forward. This is a pivotal and inflection point in this campaign.
That's why you guys are the power panel, because not only do you come up with concise answers for us, I give props to Kevin and DeMonte for the hats. Molly wins this section, though, with the friendly spot shirt. So, there we go. Thank you guys for being out there. Of course, if you want to catch the debate, you can catch it tonight live on KSAT 12. And, of course, it will be streaming at the watch party at the friendly spot.
Yeah, great to talk to you three, and we'll be right back. Evacuations already underway and schools scheduled to close across several Louisiana parishes tomorrow and Thursday, with the next hurricane inching closer to the coast.
Yeah, it is now Hurricane Francine with a landfall track that keeps shifting slightly to the east as it moves along. That's according to the National Hurricane Center. As Laura Aguirre reports, it's not just people living right along the Gulf Coast scrambling out of the storm's way.
Harvest gets much more complicated if you get a lot of rain and wind.
And that's exactly what's heading toward the southern U.S. coast as the latest named storm, Francine, gains strength over warm Gulf waters. From Arkansas farmers hustling to collect crops early inland to long lines at some coastal area gas stations, millions are bracing for severe storm impacts. Forecast models show Francine currently making landfall near Morgan City in Louisiana sometime Wednesday afternoon, potentially as a Category 2 hurricane.
Now the Baton Rouge metro area is under the gun. Could be looking at storm surge anywhere of 6 to even 10 feet, depending on the track of the storm.
Louisiana's governor declared a state of emergency Monday and has asked FEMA to assist other mobilizing state and local emergency response agencies.
I feel very confident that all of the agencies have activated their emergency response plans and pre-positioning the assets needed.
Francine could also spawn some tornadoes in Louisiana in the days ahead, while coastal areas from Texas to Mississippi could see up to 8 inches of rain.
As we all remember, Beryl took an unexpected pathway. We must be prepared for Francine.
Hurricane Beryl slammed into Texas in July, killing 7 people there and 1 other in Louisiana. Ahead of Francine, officials are warning residents to heed evacuation orders and avoid flooded roads.
Be safe with your own life, knowing that you can control your own safety by making a decision about where you do and where you do not drive.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Let's take a look outside with live cam once again this evening. Caskey said earlier, those clouds you're looking at now, that is from Francine. He'll have the latest track on that storm and our increasing temperatures when we come back.
All right, we're of course tracking what's happening in the coast right now, but also what's happening here and the fact that humidity is back, Adam.
It's very demure, very meaningful, this humidity.
You're mindful. On that. You're
mindful.
Yeah. Mindful, whatever. I know, I can't get it out of my head right now.
Cutesy's in there somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, is that another one?
I think so.
See if you can work that into your forecast.
That was so Tuesday. Wait, today is Tuesday. That was so Monday.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right to this. And I do want to point out today, September 10th, is the peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. We are right at the peak, which is usually when the activity's at its highest. And yeah, we have Francine in the Gulf, but otherwise it has been pretty quiet leading up to the peak of this hurricane season. Here's the view of the webcam from visitcorpuschristi.com, Whitecat Beach access there. You see the rollers there on all the sandbars out there offshore, but you can still drive on the beach, and the water is a little higher than usual by a few feet, and there's obviously a decent amount of surf, but no real impacts to the beach here. You look at the radar activity a little bit. Some of the clouds that Francine is throwing on shore are dropping a few showers. Not much. They're getting as near as Gonzales County, DeWitt County, Lavaca County, and then points eastward. That's all we're expecting from this. You see the main rain, big shield of it, has already come on shore today in Louisiana, but then also closer to the center of circulation, you'll see the showers in that broad circulation from earlier today, just east of Brownsville. That's where the center of the storm is. I know some of the energy and impacts have reached far to the north, but the center of it is just east of Brownsville. Here's the latest update. Category 1 hurricane. Max sustained winds of 75 miles per hour right there in the eye wall, right near the center of circulation. And it's headed to the northeast at 10 miles per hour. So that would make it to the Louisiana coastline most likely tomorrow afternoon and even into the evening hours, but likely landfall tomorrow afternoon as a Category 1 hurricane. Impacts to the Texas beaches, very minimal. And even rainfall is going to be minimal around here and in most of Texas from this. Now, here are those spaghetti plots, and Steve mentioned it earlier that they've trended eastward a little bit just over the past few days. The track has trended eastward, and now it's really just setting its sights on central Louisiana coastline. But the rainfall totals could be upwards of 6 to even 12 inches in parts of Louisiana. And then the remnants northward into Mississippi, parts of Tennessee, particularly western Tennessee as well, could see several more inches of rain from this. And I want to talk about satellite imagery a little bit here because you see Francine right here, now a hurricane just off the Texas coast. But this is another thing that caught my eye. Look in the northern U.S. You see all that smoke. It's even looks brown in color. It's so thick in Minnesota. This is the smoke from some of those western wildfires in the western U.S. from their recent heat and the wildfires they've had. The smoke is being carried eastward all the way into the Great Lakes. That's how far that is spreading. And we're no strangers to getting smoke in the air. I mean, every spring we get it from the agricultural fires in Central America. Look at our high temperature trend. We're warming up a little bit. 93 was our high today. We'll be up to 97. That should be our warmest Friday and Saturday. However, since the humidity's back, it's returning, it'll feel like it's closer to triple digits for a few hours in the afternoons there. 89 right now, dew point is 63. These clouds coming in from Francine should make for a beautiful sunset. Sunset a little before 8 p.m. Quick look at the Saharan dust. Not much out there. We have a new plume coming off of Africa, but that's about it. And typically when you have that dust out there, which we did have for quite a while, it can inhibit hurricane formation. We're going to be back in just a few minutes.
To the buzz, and NASA says the Europa Clipper spacecraft is set to launch next month to explore one of Jupiter's moons. Recently, the spacecraft passed a key milestone and has been approved to launch Europa, an ice-covered world that may have the potential to support life in its salty subsurface ocean.
That sounds crazy. The Europa Clipper carries instruments that could determine whether life is possible somewhere else in our solar system besides Earth. The launch window opens on October 10th.
Europa. All right, move over, Ghosts and Goblins. This year's most popular Halloween costumes could be more influenced by pop culture than traditional lore, according to Google Trends. Beetlejuice among the top searches. Tim Burton's horror comedy sequel, Beetlejuice just hit theaters, already sparking costume inspiration, apparently.
That doesn't surprise me. You can also expect to see a lot of Bad and Good Witches, an ode to the upcoming release of the movie adaptation of the Broadway musical Wicked, and breakdancer Ray Gunn. Remember her from the Olympics? She became a viral sensation after her Olympic performance. That is also a top search for costume ideas.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
That she would be one.
And I saw today she's ranked #1 in the world in that sport, even after all the buzz, if you will, about the Olympics.
Wasn't kind.
No,
wasn't that kind to Ray Gunn?
No, it was not.
Yeah. We'll be right back. We're one of the sponsors here at KSAT in honor of former news director Jim Boyle, who died from brain cancer. This year's Head for the Cure 5K right around the corner. It's on September 28th at Providence Catholic School. You can register right now by scanning the QR code on your screen. It'll take you directly to the website to register. Proceeds from Head for the Cure go to brain cancer research. For more information, visit ksatcommunity.com.
Here's a longer longer term outlook here. September 16th to the 20th. And this is a longer outlook. And we're looking above average, which you look at our latest temperature trend from that taste of autumn. And temperatures are on the rise. We'll be mid to upper 90s by Friday and this weekend.
Isn't that really what all of us should aspire to be? It's just above average.
Just above average, David.
You know,
Be in that red zone.
Yeah. We can do it.